Okay, is it just me, or does it seem like they knew exactly how people were going to react to the last two episodes and made this one better in every way? Even Mako had more to do this time. Not much, but it was still better than the last two episodes. Now, it does start out with Bolin being tortured by the twins, which I complained about last time, but I'm glad that now he's actively trying to get out. I also think it's funny, though strangely believable for Bolin, that he just wouldn't know that you could break up with someone. And of course, they have a creepy laugh now, because why wouldn't they? Though I have to say, as much as I joked about the twins before, I am now convinced more than ever that they should be a couple if they aren't already. As weird as that sounds, I honestly don't think they're going to find anyone better suited for them than each other. Really, I incest. Wow, it actually hurt just to say that. So, moving on. Otherwise, I like how even though it's still obvious that Korra's uncle is the bad guy, it's a lot more understandable here to see why she looks up to him. And it's really great how she can talk to him and reason with him. This is a perfect example of a bad guy who honestly thinks he's doing the right thing. He's not evil for the sake of being evil. He actually can be friendly and approachable. I personally think that makes for a much more interesting villain as opposed to a Mon who always had the sinister voice going on. I think it's a lot more effective when the villain can appeal to the hero and make you believe it. The only part that I kinda had an issue with was when Korra's father was arrested, even though the Southern rebels make it completely clear that he refused to help us, he's a traitor! But this is a part 1, so I'm assuming they'll go into it more in the next episode. I mean, they pretty much have to if you're gonna end on that cliffhanger. Oh, but speaking of the rebels, there is a lot of good action in this episode. I love the bending effects, but I really liked how Korra had to restrain herself in this episode, and they focused a lot more on hand-to-hand combat. Number one, it's a good change of pace, but it also shows how even without her bending, Korra can still kick your ass. Now, I love the martial arts all throughout the Avatar series, but for Korra in particular, I was sold right from the first episode where she meets the Triad guys for the first time, and she freezes the one guy in a block of ice and then boots his head right into the side of a car. Just damn, that is the sign of a great action scene, when the fighting actually hurts. They do it so well in this series, and I love it. Though getting back to this episode, my favorite part, aside from the action scenes, honestly was when the characters were just talking. The dialogue here is so good, and there's so much character development. And of course, there's that whole segment with Tenzin, Bumi, and Kaya. Now, on one hand, it is a bit jarring to think that Aang would neglect his other children besides Tenzin, though I kind of understand that because, of course, Tenzin's an airbender. And you have to understand that even before Tenzin's family, Aang was the one responsible for repopulating the planet with airbenders. So, I don't think it's the best way Aang could have treated his family, but in a weird way, I still get it. But what I think is even more telling is that Tenzin seems absolutely convinced that he went on these family vacations with his brother and sister, and they were never there. That's really eerie. That's something that I hope gets more explanation later. I mean, I can understand getting certain details mixed up, but holy crap! If your family was never there, then how do you convince yourself that they were? So yeah, on that note, I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I'll see you later.